The Legend of the Frozen Shard. They say that beyond the northern ridge there is a valley where eternal frost meets the fire of a sleeping volcano. That place is called the Rift of Hearts. Those who come there are people who loved too fiercely and those who held on for far too long. That night, the sky finally released its heavy clouds, but it never became bright. Twilight hung over the land, as if someone had left a door open into someone else's dream. Two figures came to the rift. They walked for a long time along the frozen wall, so long that time stopped distinguishing between footsteps and breathing. The wall felt endless, just like their attempts to save something that had already died. She was fire, not flame. Lava hidden beneath black stone. Her eyes flared when she laughed and dimmed just as quickly. She alone could warm the coldest wind, and only she could burn just as deeply. He was ice, thin, clear, dangerous. Calm on the surface, fractured inside, cracks he never admitted, even to himself. His heart knew how to love so deeply that every disappointment became an earthquake. Together, they were an impossibility that tried for too long to pretend it was happiness. They stood at the edge of the chasm. The wind carried the scent of volcanic embers and bitter tobacco smoke. He always smoked when he didn't know how to speak the truth. She exhaled first. "I think we've done everything we could." "We did everything that broke us," he answered without looking at her, "and everything that kept us standing." Silence settled between them, so thick it could be exhaled as smoke. He pulled out a flask of cognac, took a sip, and handed it to her. She drank. Her eyes flashed, like an animal that finally realizes it's time to leave the trap. "I loved you," she said quietly, "and I hated you too, hotly, to the point of blood." "I know," he said. "I loved you just as much, and just as wrong." They both looked into the abyss, into the frozen depth where fire slept beneath the ice. They both understood there was no road forward together, not because they didn't want to stay, but because together they would always fall instead of moving on. He touched his chest, where a heart once beat. Now there lay a thin, transparent shard of ice. It didn't hurt, and that was the tragedy. Everything disappeared, he whispered, without leaving a trace. She touched his fingers. The frozen shard cracked slightly, but did not melt. "It didn't disappear," she said. "It changed. Like lava, it looks dead too until the earth opens." "We still can't stay," she nodded. Her gaze was calm, the gaze of someone who finally understood that love is not holding on. Love is letting suffering end. "Then go," she said. "Everyone has their own path. Mine is fire, yours is ice, but both lead to the place we were too afraid to face." "I know. Don't blame anyone." "I wasn't going to. Everyone pays their own price." She smiled, beautifully bitterly, the way women smile who have survived love and remained alive. He stepped back. She stepped forward. Her silhouette dissolved into the warm glow of the volcano, his into the cold shimmer of the frozen wall. And only the wind knew that it wasn't just two people who parted that night. That night, fire and ice separated, forces that tried too long to warm each other, only to numb burns and heat fractures. But the legends say, if you listen closely to the wind in that valley, you can hear two voices. One, warm, like smoldering embers. The other, clear and cold, like brittle ice. They are still walking, only now in opposite directions. And for the first time in a long while, they feel no pain.